Hi everyone, how you all doing? I wanted to make a video on how to read rhythms. I wanted to explain it really simply. Basically, this is primarily aimed at drummers, but you can also clap along, you can tap along, you could sing along, you could say along, you could play one note on your instrument as well. This first video is kind of part of a video series that's called How to Read Rhythm 10 Basic Concepts. And this first video is lesson 1. So what I want to do is I want to kind of just go through step by step and figure out how we even just begin to look at music and how we begin to kind of understand what we're seeing. So the first thing is music is always generally written on 5 lines of music, and we call that the stave. The next thing that we have to understand is bars and bar lines. So a bar would have 2 lines either side of it, which are called bar lines, which is a way of breaking music up into chunks and also being able to kind of mathematically figure out where things are supposed to go. So the next thing we have to figure out is what is a time signature. So most music will have numbers at the beginning in fractions, and the most common one is 4/4. And basically all you need to understand is that the top number is how many beats there are in the bar, and the bottom number is what kind of beats they are. So the next thing we need to look at is how music is actually written onto the stave, which is the 5 lines. So music is kind of broken up into 2 parts. You've got the note head and you've got the stem of the note. And both of those things can affect how the rhythm would look. What we're going to do though is for all of these examples, we're just going to have the stems going up because it is generally easier to read when they go up. But they can go down, and that doesn't really affect how the rhythm sounds. It's just more to do with pitch, and sometimes the stems go up when you've got a certain pitch, or they go down when you've got a certain pitch. So the first type of note that we're going to learn about is a crotchet, which in the American terms is quarter note. Phonetically, we're going to call that tar, and that lasts for 1 beat. The next thing we're going to look at is minims, or in the American term, half note. We kind of phonetically say 2 for that, and that lasts for 2 beats. The last thing that we're going to do today is we're going to look at semibreves, and the American term for that is whole note, and that lasts for 4 beats, and when we say that, we're just going to say 4. You'll notice that for crotchets, the note heads are filled in, and most notes have the note heads filled in. The only notes that don't really have the note heads filled in are minims and semibreves. When we read music, which is more than 1 note in kind of a line, we read it very much like how you would read a book. So music is read left to right, like how you would read a book. The first thing that we're going to look at together is crotchets, which are quarter notes, which last for 1 beat, and minims, which are half notes that last for 2 beats. And we're going to be looking at them in 4/4. What I want to do is I want to explain to you about 4 ways that we can read crotchets and minims together. But the first thing we can do is in 4/4 we know that there's 2 minims that you can have in 4/4 because they last 2 beats. So you've got 2 plus 2 equals 4. When we're playing rhythms, generally what I like to do when I first look at them is sing them out loud or say them out loud. So we're going to have, for crotchets, which lasts for 1 beat, we're going to say tar. For minims, which lasts for 2 beats, we're going to say 2. And for semibreves, that last for 4 beats, we're going to say 4. For me, a lot of rhythms can be grouped into kind of 4 main ways. The first one that we're going to look at is just 4 crotchets together, which looks like this. So what we can do is we can have a go at clapping through that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what I want to do is I want to look at the next one, which is a minim and then 2 crotchets. And if we were going to say that, it would sound like this. 2, ta, ta. Now if I count us in, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, ta, ta. And that's how we would go about saying it. The next one is going to be 2 crotchets and then a minim. And that one will sound like this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, ta, ta, 2. And the last one goes like this. It's a crotchet, a minim, and a crotchet. And it'll go like this. You can clap along with me as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, ta, tu, ta. Once you get fluent at kind of saying these rhythms at the same time as playing them, we'll then transfer that sound into our head. So you'll start saying these words in your head rather than out loud, and that means that you're starting to then internalize the timing of the rhythms. To finish off this first stage of learning to read rhythms, we're going to play through together a piece of music that I wrote called One Beat Piece. This piece of music basically features all the rhythms that we've been doing today. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to get your practice pad and your sticks, or just your instrument. You can also clap your hands or tap on your knees, just so that you can play along with me. I think it'll be really useful for us to be able to do this together. I'll make sure I count us in. There'll be a metronome as well, which is a timekeeping device to make sure that we stay in time. Say the rhythms at the same time as you're playing them, and just try and stick with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 ta. 2, 2. Ta, ta, 2, 2. Ta, 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 2, ta, 2, 2. Ta, 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 4. Thank you for watching this first video on how to read rhythm, the 10 basic concepts, lesson 1. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've enjoyed it. You can find all the resources for this in a link in the comments below, and there's a PDF of the piece of music that we just played as well. This is part of a 10-lesson series, so please do go and check out the other lessons as well. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.